Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Office Bloke Aidan.
Here we are, Office Bloke Daz Sports Edition.
Yep.
Something for everyone. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, please. It does help the channel grow, and we do appreciate it, don't we?
We do, very much so.
Be a part of it. Be a part of the Office Bloke Daz Sports Edition family. So you were here
Join
right
the
at the
gang.
start. Right at the start.
Right.
The NBA's newest villain. Who was the oldest villain?
I
The
know,
older
right?
villain, is it Trae
Young.
Young? Yeah.
Why is he a villain? I love Trae Young.
He's a bit of a when he first came into the NBA, he was a bit
I know, like, if you're
Bit of a
a
nuisance, wasn't
Knicks fan, I bet you hate him. But
Mm.
I love Trae Young, mate.
I
He's
thought he
ice
was
cold. He's ice Trae.
yeah. I thought he was the old villain.
No,
I guess.
Dillon Brooks annoys me.
Yeah,
to be
I've seen,
fair,
I've seen him a few times. This guy, and it's when I've seen him, I've always thought, yeah, gets in
he
people's
just
faces.
I've seen him, like, he talks too much, like off the court about people. He talks to people that are better than him, and he's not even like.
Who was the guy who closed down the the point guards coming out with the ball?
Yeah.
Who was the guy that went straight up and kept closing them down and winning the fouls? Who was that?
Jose Alvarado, was it?
It's something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of them where he's your nuisance as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
in
he
your
just-
face.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see what this is about. The NBA's newest villain.
Dillon.
Trash talking? Check. Dirty plays? Check. Universally hated by every fan base except their own? Check. Many people say that Dillon Brooks is the best perimeter defender in the NBA. But that's debatable. What is absolutely certain is that Dillon Brooks is the league's most irritating and provocative player, and he's officially emerged as the NBA's #1 villain. Nobody will talk about Dillon Brooks when he retires. I promise you that. Klay Thompson was really mad at Dillon Brooks, and he had every right to be. On March 19th, his Warriors lost 133-119 to the Grizzlies, and the cocky, loud-talking Brooks had put Steph Curry in his back pocket, limiting Steph to just 16 points. Dillon bothered Steph all night, not only with his quick hands and explosive lateral movement, but also with his never-ending trash talk.
Come on, dog.
Brooks is the worst type of opponent. He'll be the most physical and the most abrasive player on the court, and the more he trash talks, the better he'll play. Thompson got so pissed with Dillon that he had to put 4 fingers up in the air, as it was the only argument left to show Brooks who had the upper hand. Sure, Klay and the Warriors have 4 championship rings, while Brooks has 0. But by repeatedly showing him those 4 fingers, Klay made a huge mistake, and Brooks won that battle. Because once you're dealing with an instigator of Dillon Brooks' caliber, the worst thing you can do is show them that you care and that their trash talking has got to you. Klay then doubled down on his mistake in the press conference. We gotta say that we respectfully disagree with you, Mr. Thompson, because Dillon Brooks will be remembered once he's retired. Every sport needs a villain, and Brooks is currently the #1 villain in the NBA. And the more people keep saying his name, the more his value will
If
rise.
I'm not mistaken, I feel like he's not at the Grizzlies anymore. I feel like I might just research that real quick, see where he is.
And did he move last season?
Yeah. Well,
I've only ever seen him I only recognise him with a Grizzlies uniform on.
yeah, he's a Houston Rockets player.
Oh, Houston Rockets. Right.
But I'm not sure if he's played for him yet. Like, he signed for them like this year.
When I seen him before with his hair and with the Grizzlies top on, that's the only image I've really got.
No,
of
yeah,
him.
same.
Like that.
I think it's the only image anyone's because I don't think
Yeah.
he's played for Rockets yet. But
rise, and the more people will find out about him. However, true NBA fans have known about Brooks for quite some time now. The last 4 seasons, Dillon has been arguably the best one-on-one defender in the entire league, which he demonstrated perfectly in that game against the Warriors. While he has his flaws, primarily in shot selection, Brooks earns his minutes on the floor with what Memphis fans love the most.
Yeah, it's just all hard. Grit, grind.
Brooks really is Tony Allen 2.0, a Memphis legend who Kobe Bryant called the toughest defender that ever guarded him. In the 2023 NBA season, nobody is close to Dillon in defensive possessions against all-star players. And not only does he spend more time guarding the best opposing players, but Brooks is also forcing them to shoot 10% worse than their average efficiency, which is again the best mark in the NBA. It really is a travesty that Brooks hasn't made an all-defensive team yet, especially in 2021 when he helped the Grizzlies make the play-in tournament, where they beat the Warriors to make the playoffs.
My dog need his respect on this defensive team for sure.
Yes, sir.
It is unacceptable that he's not getting the recognition that, some of these guys are getting. And
That should change soon, as Dillon is doing everything in his power to put his name out there. It seems like there isn't a week without some kind of beef or scandal involving Mr. Brooks, which which is something that is definitely needed in the buddy-buddy league that is the modern NBA. However, we can't say we condone everything Brooks does. Just a few days prior to his chit-chat with Klay and the Warriors, the Grizzlies played against Miami. And in the second quarter, Brooks was trying to chase down a loose ball when he ran into a cameraman on the sideline. But the problem was, Brooks pushed the cameraman down, causing him to fall backward and suffered an elbow injury. The NBA fined Memphis' swingman $35,000, to which he responded, "It's only paper," trying to play it off as a cool move. Brooks has managed to single-handedly piss off an entire Warriors franchise, especially Draymond Green, a player with whom he shares many similarities. Great defense, trash talking.
I was going to say, I feel like he was literally going back and forth with Draymond Green, like on Twitter or something.
Yeah, I kind of remember that story a little bit.
And getting under opponents' skin. Those are all traits that Draymond possesses, and it's no wonder that these two don't like each other. Brooks' beef with the Warriors started with Andre Iguodala, who was traded to Memphis in 2019, but never played a game for the rebuilding Grizzlies.
We all had the vision and he didn't, which is perfect. You know, send him back to the Warriors and let him, you know, do his thing over there.
Then, 3 months later, the Warriors and the Grizzlies met in the second round of the playoffs, which stirred the pot even more. And, of course, Brooks is at the center of the drama when he committed a flagrant 2 foul that resulted in Gary Payton II breaking his elbow.
I don't know if it was intentional, but it was dirty, and he broke the code. Dillon Brooks broke the code.
The Warriors retaliated when Jordan Poole injured Ja Morant, which forced Ja to miss the rest of the series. And the bad blood has kept brewing ever since. Immediately after the series, Dillon said that the Grizzlies are creating a dynasty.
You know, we're young and they're getting old, so they know we're coming every single year.
There must be some locker room that with Ja Morant and Dillon Brooks in the
things he says is just annoying me on this video and stuff. He's not even like, we're coming for them every year, we're young. He's not even there anymore, mate. He sacks you off because of how much you talk and annoying you are.
Yeah.
Their next matchup came on Christmas Day 2022, when Klay Thompson spent 10 seconds mocking and taunting Dillon when he fell to the floor. Draymond was super animated as well, showing Dillon the full length of his tongue and laughing in his face. On March 3rd, 2023, ESPN issued a long interview with Dillon, where ESPN's reporter pointed out to Brooks that he and Draymond play a similar game, and that they can guard multiple positions and go out of their way to aggravate opponents. Brooks was not thrilled with the comparison. He said that he had zero love for the Warriors, and that Green would be a nobody if he played for any team other than Golden State. I don't like Draymond at all. I just don't like Golden State and anything to do with him. Draymond talks a lot, gets away with a lot too. His game is cool with Golden State, but if you put him anywhere else, you're not going to know who Draymond is. And it didn't take long for Draymond to respond. On his podcast that aired March 9th, Draymond Green went after Dillon Brooks, using all kinds of insults.
This idiot said, I don't know what Draymond does.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out why they like you in Memphis. Or do they like you in Memphis? If you ever wondered why the Memphis Grizzlies is not ready to compete for a championship, look no further than this idiot right here.
The podcast aired one day before the Warriors' road game against the Grizzlies, and the world was anxious to see what was going to happen. As we all expected, Brooks and the Grizzlies were fired up and eager to shut Draymond up, so that's exactly what they did. Brooks had 14 points and 6 rebounds in the big 131-110 win, showing up with huge defensive plays. Despite shooting 1 in 7 from three-point range, Brooks was plus 22 in his 35 minutes on the floor, and he completely outplayed his rivals from San Francisco. During the second quarter, Green and Brooks had a close encounter, both chirping and baiting each other into a technical.
Oh, they're talking. They're discussing the podcast.
After the game, Brooks shared his thoughts on Draymond for TNT. I told him, keep that mic open, keep doing his podcast, and keep blogging. Keep doing all that off-the-court stuff. It's cute. It's fun for him. But Brooks wasn't done there. He spoke about Green again in the locker room. He was asked if some of the recent comments Green made angered him, and Brooks had a blunt response.
Why has he always got a pair of glasses on in the locker room as well? Like it's sunny in there.
It's
or
cool,
anything.
isn't it?
Like, Jesus
Gotta look
Christ.
cool, mate.
It's always a
Gotta look
different
cool.
pair as well, and
Yeah.
then bigger than his head.
I think so, yeah.
No, because I know I'm a better player than him. I can do the same stuff like he does. That's easy. You know, that's just showing up to work. You know, he was trying to, pin my teammates against me. That's a low blow. These are my guys. You know, we grew it all together. You know, I ain't out there getting physical altercations with my teammates. You know, I sit there and talk to them. You know, not break them down, but, build them up. Never attacked one. No.
Dillon made an obvious reference to Green punching teammate Jordan Poole during training camp in October. And and it's safe to say he took a W in that little exchange, especially after the Grizzlies won the game. Just 9 days later, the Grizzlies and the Warriors met again. Memphis took home another win, after which Klay had to show his 4 fingers to Brooks. But Dillon still was not done there. Just 2 days later, he taunted the Mavericks bench right in front of the referee, who gave him his 18th technical of the season. And because of the NBA rule, which states that after 16 technicals, each next one means an automatic suspension, Brooks was forced to miss another game. So, when he realized he'd be out of the spotlight for one game, Brooks used this opportunity to mock another player. He came after Theo Pinson, a Mavericks role player whom Brooks called a cheerleader. And these were not even the only incidents involving Dillon Brooks. They were just the most recent ones. Back in January of 2023, when the Grizzlies played in Los Angeles against the Lakers, Brooks got into an altercation with NFL legend Shannon Sharpe. Sharpe, who was a huge LeBron fan, was sitting courtside, and he trashed.
Shannon Sharpe was he played when I used to watch the NFL when I was younger.
Not too familiar.
I'm pretty sure he was I want to say he was a wide receiver. I might be wrong on that. Someone might correct me on that. But he played for the Denver Broncos. That was one of the teams he played for. I'm not sure who else he played. Maybe I want to say someone like maybe a purple team like Minnesota or Baltimore, maybe as well. I've got an image of him sort of like dressed in purple. Yeah. Let me know anyway. But it might be I might just get mixed up with the Denver Broncos. But he's very outspoken, and he's like he has a lot to say. Yeah. Shannon Sharpe. Quite funny on some of the stuff he does. He's quite funny. Yeah. But I've seen his clip as well, where he went at Shannon Sharpe as well. Let's see.
Talk Dillon, saying that he can't guard LeBron. Of course, Brooks had something to say about that, and the two kept going back and forth before the whole situation escalated and the entire Grizzlies team wanted to fight Sharpe, including Ja Morant's dad. A few weeks after that, Dillon made headlines again with another high-caliber name. During a game against the Cavaliers, Brooks fell to the ground following a layup versus Donovan Mitchell. Brooks then hit Mitchell in the groin with a fist, and Donovan retaliated by throwing the ball at Brooks before they got into a shoving match. Both players were ejected. Mitchell got fined $20,000, and Dillon was suspended for a game without pay.
That's just what it is. We've seen it a bunch in this league with him. Him and I have had our personal battles for years. Quite frankly, I've been busting his ass for years. Playoffs, regular season. In the one game he does a high job on me today. He decides to do something like that.
A few weeks after this little love story, Brooks got into it with Jokic on the court, after which both got technicals. Dillon also had altercations with LeBron, Harden, and Anthony Edwards. And it seems like he can barely get through a game without getting involved in some kind of beef. And like we said before, we love it. We may not agree with everything that Brooks says or does, and it's great for the NBA to have guys like him. Brooks leads the NBA in technical fouls. He doesn't have social media. He comes to the game shirtless and then gets into everybody's grill without any concern about what others might think of him. Maybe he is just a role player. But if he keeps that same energy, Dillon Brooks will definitely be remembered after he's retired. Just like everybody remembers role players like Bruce Bowen and Matt Barnes, Tony Allen, and even Lance Stevenson. We can also mention All-Stars and Hall of Famers who have had the same unapologetic and brash mentality, and who are equally remembered for their antics as well as their basketball skill, like Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, Ron Artest, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Gary Payton, and Kevin Garnett. All those guys are watching Dillon Brooks right now, and they are happy that he's keeping their fighting spirit alive in the modern NBA.
I like that.
It is true. As much as I probably don't really like him and it annoys me, it is kind of entertaining what he does.
That's what it is. It's pure. If he, like I've said before on different thing, when you've got someone on your team that's a pain in the arse, he's your pain in the arse. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you love him on your team, giving it that to all the other team, but you've got to back it up with wins.
Yeah, you've got to back it up by being good as well.
He looks like he's a decent player. Yeah, he's obviously a good player.
Yeah,
but
he's more defense than offense, though, isn't he?
But when you're mocking, who was a kid from Golden State? He was having a go with
Draymond Green.
No, the other one,
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson. So when he's having a go with Klay Thompson just gone, "Far mate."
Yeah,
that's your answer. You've not won anything unless you're winning the NBA.
But when you're doing that though, it's like
championship. Then it's
then he comes out with like we're young, so we've got years ahead. They're old. They're not going to win anymore.
Yeah, but then.
But what he said as well, it does show that it's getting to Thompson's head, though, doesn't it?
It has 100% got into their head. Yeah. That's what he does, and that's what he does great.
Just got into everyone on that Warriors team's head.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. So he's gone to Houston Rockets now, has he?
Houston, apparently so.
All these beefs he's got with everyone, he's going to run out of teammates.
That's what I'm saying. People are not going to want him. I want to know if Houston Rocket fans, if there are any in the comments, let us know. If you're happy for him to come to your team, or if you don't like him and you don't want him to play for the Rockets.
Yeah, but he's that good that you'd want in your team anyway.
Is he like? I don't think he's all that.
Stats were pretty decent.
He's a good defensive player, to be fair, but I wouldn't say he's a monumental player in the NBA right now.
He's kind of like, I guess he's like if you order Dennis Rodman from Kmart, that's what you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, enjoyed that.
I
do like players like that. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.